Now we're live again. So everybody out there, welcome. I just want you to know that we went live for like 2.5 minutes and we've been talking and having a good time and discussing Sean and
yep. Had a full conversation and Howard, or I'll say our audio video guy, which is Howard, didn't hit the go live button. So
I didn't know. Yeah, I mean, it's completely my fault. This is kind of a new thing for me. So yeah, I'm sorry. Also, I might have had some whiskey to drink.
Yes. Cheers.
So that always, yeah, cheers. I'm glad we're doing this today. We're going to do a live Q&A, right?
Yeah. So as I said the first time when we weren't live a few moments ago, but part of being on Live PD, one, the show was obviously live. So we got to interact with the viewers through real time and Twitter of what was going on in the show. If we had guests in studio, you know, another officer, a fan favorite, things like that. We took questions from the public, wanted to know about that officer, about their life and things like that. And that's what we want you guys to do. So this is our first time doing this.
Yeah.
This is my guy, Howard Doss. We've actually got another friend of ours who sits in here with us, Jason Sales, off to the side, part of our little bourbon group.
Yeah, he's part of the team.
Part of the crew. And we want questions from you guys. I know there's got to be a lot of them. I know there's going to be some live PD questions. You might have some questions about different cocktails. You might have questions about some of our guests. Give us a suggestion on a guest that you might have that you'd love to see us interact with here on the show.
And tell us what you're drinking too, because this is kind of happy hour. We kind of build it as a little bit of a late happy hour, but it's still we're going to have a drink and we're going to talk to the audience like we talk to our guests, right?
Absolutely.
And we've got quite a few people showing up in the room. Somebody just said they really love your book.
Thank you. Yeah, man. It's, never in my life, one, did I ever think I'd end up, on a television show to begin with, or I wouldn't call myself an author at all. Had a lot of help putting that book together. Ghostwriter, another guy that kind of helped clean the thing up for us. And man, I just wanted to get that story or those stories out there about what officers are dealing with across the country.
Okay, so you guys are cracking me up now.
Yeah, give
so
me
somebody just went, what book, after you talked about that? And then somebody just asked us about our friend Chad Ayers.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was Miss Darlene out there asked about Chad Ayers. We love Chad. He's a close friend of ours.
He is. And so let's say this. So, you that listen to this podcast regularly, you know that almost every episode, you can guarantee 3 things. One, we're going to have a great guest on here who's going to give, an amazing story about something that's happened. 2, we're going to make fun of Crown Apple.
Yeah, all the time, every time.
And 3, we're going to take a little jab at our boy Chad Ayers in some way. So it's our sticks. We've got to do it. But Chad is a close personal friend of ours. Even though he's in South Carolina, we're here in Tulsa. He comes out here. We get to go out there. He'll actually be here with me in, 2 weeks, actually less than 2 weeks. He's going to come out again for a few days. So much love to our little dimpled
friend Chatty. Okay, we got a question.
Yeah,
we got a couple questions here. I can put the questions up. Yeah, why did we pick our field?
So we got, I'm guessing it's Alicia Chandra. She's asking, my question for both of y'all is, why did you pick your field? So I'll let you go with that.
Man, I'm just built to be a nurse. I like people. I like helping people. I've been a bedside nurse. It's good for you. I guess the thing is when you help other people, you help yourself. So that's the way I operate.
Yeah. And how long you been doing it?
Almost 19 years now. I'm getting old.
He actually worked today, and Howard,
I work every day.
You do. But listen, Howard is obviously he's the funny guy of the podcast, but he's incredibly bright. I'll say this: during the height of COVID, he packed up his stuff from Tulsa and he hit the road, and he was there in New York during the thick of it, working in the COVID stuff. End up going to the Yale Research Hospital or something.
No, it was just Yale.
Oh, Yale.
It's just a small place in New Haven, Connecticut. You probably haven't heard of
It's
it.
way too smart for me.
Yeah, whatever. Now, how'd you become a cop?
But he went out there, and he also went out to the West Coast and did it before getting back home. Man, I come from a military family. So both of my parents were active duty military. My father was in for 32. My mom was in for 20. And, so I kind of knew just my natural path, that role of service, wanting to, do something, I'll even say patriotic. This country, the flag, et cetera, is a big deal to me. And so I debated between going into the military and going into law enforcement. And so I ended up going through college and then got into the police department right out of that, and just recently retired.
You did?
Yeah,
How
I did.
long have you been retired?
3 months.
Oh, and he has been enjoying it.
I have.
His golf game hadn't got any better, though.
It's horrible.
But he's got some really nice clubs he's been using. They don't seem to help him at all. So we got a few more questions here.
Keep them coming, guys.
Here's a great one. No, we aren't Jaden. Jadine. Okay,
yes.
Sorry about that redneck coming through. Here's another one.
That's what you got to say, because no one else knows what you're saying. You just go no. Jadine's asking if we're drunk yet. The answer is no.
I thought that pops up on the screen on their part.
I don't know I think it just pops up.
Hey,
for us
anybody, does that pop up on the screen on your part when it comes?
No, it's for us to read it.
Oh, is that it?
Once again, Howard, our audio video guy.
I did not know that. Okay, here's another question. Oh, wait, that's not it. It moved. There you go.
Darlene Cribb wants to know how the bromance between the two of us began. So Howard and I
used to mentor wayward children. And I coached a little league t-ball team, and there was a little guy named Sean, and he just tried really hard.
I was lost one night wandering the streets. Howard took me in.
No, that's not how.
No, he and I actually both used to go to the same gym. We're roughly the same age. We both had previously been married about the same time period. We had kids that were roughly the same age, and we just connected in the gym.
Well, good dudes hang with good dudes.
That's absolutely true. So
all of our guys are good dudes.
We've got a hell of a good crew.
If you're not a good dude, you're going to get to hang out with us. And we say good dude, you've got to be kind and compassionate. No assholes.
Open-minded.
We have no assholes in our group. If you are like that, you don't get invited back. That's just the way. Okay, we got a serious question here from Julia.
Sean, in this tough climate towards law enforcement, if one of your children wanted to become an officer, would you encourage them? Julia, that's actually a great question. I loved, I guess, as in past tense, being a cop. I wouldn't do anything different. I would have done the exact same job. We need men and women right now that want to do this job because it is tough. We as a society obviously need it. As I mentioned earlier, I'm very patriotic about stuff, as far as with this country. Literally just had a conversation yesterday that, if my son came to me right now and said he wanted to join the Marine Corps based on what's going on, around the world, I would be all about supporting him doing that and pushing him to do so. Same thing with law enforcement. It is tough. I think we are in a lull that's going to last a little while. But people, I think through and through, do support law enforcement. I know that they do. And, some of these politics that are going on right now will hopefully get burned out. And people will be tired of it. And that support for law enforcement will be strong as it once was. So to answer your question, man, if my boy came to me and was like, hey, Dad, I want to be a cop, I'd do everything I could to help him get down that path.
Absolutely. Hey, the same way with nursing. I encourage, I have two daughters. I encourage both of them to go to nursing school. One decided to get a degree in history, and I love her to death, and she is a great conversationalist. And the other one decided that she wanted to skip over the nursing altogether, and she wants to go to med school. So she's going to start pretty soon. Okay, so we got another. And this is – I like these questions you guys are asking. How about this one? Yeah, I want to answer this one. Can I answer this one?
Sure.
Hell yeah. Did you not listen to our podcast? We had a whole thing where we caught a guy that was trying to hook a stripper and he wasn't there. Yes. The Tulsa PD goes and gets bad cops.
Yeah. That's Pikes Peak accountability. He's asking if I've ever come out against bad cops in TPD. Man, I've talked about it on other radio shows, nationally syndicated radio shows. And I'm not trying to do a shameless plug for my book, but if you get my book, I talk about it. Cops come out against bad cops all the time. it's just not a big deal. It gets out to the public. Just like in any other industry, when someone gets in trouble, they get fired. It might not make the news that everybody knows about it. But people get disciplined, they get fired, they get suspended. It happens on a regular basis. I mean, I know for a fact here in, the Tulsa Police Department, there are officers on what we call timeout right now. They're on light duty because they can't be out on the streets while an investigation is going. And that goes on across departments across the country, literally daily.
Okay, here's a good one. We don't know this answer yet. We're just going to have to come up. That's Nicodemus.
Jennifer Nicodemus. If you could have anyone on the podcast, who would it be? Man, Howard, I'll throw that your way. And keep in mind what our podcast is about.
I'd like to have Charles Manson on. Is he still alive?
I don't. Well, we're going to Jason, our analyst over here, to do some research.
No, seriously, I would like to have one of those.
I think he passed.
Yeah, I think he did too.
I think
I'd like to have one of those.
Ago,
I'd like to have one of those completely wacko serial killers on to talk to.
Just about how they
yeah, I mean,
why they did what they did.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they would be squarely, and I'm a little crazy, and I could probably understand what's going on in their head a little bit.
I got you.
So that would probably be who I'm thinking. What about you?
Man, for me, golly, I'm going to say this. We do have some really, really good guests lined up over our next several weeks, like 6 weeks. I don't want to name drop any of those guys yet, but we've got some great guys that we were really hoping to get on that are coming. But another one that I would probably say for me, man, as cheesy as it sounds, I'd like to have Joe Rogan on here, man, just because that guy, he knows a little bit about everything. I mean, he's got, the #1 podcast out there, obviously, but just to shoot the shit with him and have a drink and, I would love to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Joe would be fine. I'm trying to read and scroll at the same time. So I'm getting that. We kind of had an interesting question up here that was Sticks. Do you miss the Jefferson County guys on live PD?
Alan Jackson asking, man, I do. I do. I miss everybody from live PD, but you guys out there in Jefferson County would get at it. They were busy. They were having chases on a regular basis. He knows what I'm talking about. I mean, they were hustlers. There were a couple different units or departments on the show that just reminded me of the group of guys that I worked with. Out there chasing gangsters, the violent people in those communities, and that's what they were doing there. Literally 1 and 2 times a night, it seemed like they were involved in a chase. So yeah, I miss them badly.
Well, I know there's nobody. Yeah, somebody's asked already. I've just ignored the question. Live PD. Is it coming back?
Man, it is. I'll put it this way. I know that there are a lot of people that are a part of that show. I can't say any names that are doing everything in their power to try and bring that show back. I will say that. So it is not by any means dead in the water.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Me too.
I enjoyed that. We went up and Jason, who's over here that we have alluded to, and I have been up there to the studio while it's going on. And it's like a football game. Like there's a big control room in the back, and there's lots of screens, and there's a lot of producers yelling at people. And then it's like, okay, you got to be real quiet. And then they talk for a little while, and it's pretty fun. All right, here's another question for you. You gonna read it?
We can't keep going the same person. She asked one, buddy. You got to go to a different one.
Answer that one. I'll go another one. I'm just picking questions. I'm not reading who they're from.
Once again, Howard is audio video. For any of you guys listening out there, if you're looking for a job, I'm paying for a new audio video at the conclusion of this live thing we're doing because this is bad.
Okay, how about this one?
Wings at Soar 14. Can you talk about all the police that are changing their flags to the black and what it means? Man, I'm going to just fall on the sword here. I have not heard of that, so I don't know what it means, and I will educate myself on that. Or maybe Jason here, our guy to the side, can look it up and see what he finds out. But, man, I have not heard of that. So, as you can see behind me, I've got a wooden flag here from Stars and Stripes Company hooked us up with this thing, made this, and it's got the blue line through the middle there. So if that's what you're referring to, they're kind of going black. I don't know anything about that.
All right, let me see what else I can find here. Hey, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Do you eat vegetables?
I do. I ate some right before we went on.
Will you marry me?
That's a negative.
See? Okay, I asked all those questions that were on our little video. Let me see what else I can find. I'm reading slow, and it's kind of far away from here.
Let's see. Another thing I want to throw out there is, man, first of all, thank you to everybody that does tune in and listen to the podcast. So it is growing. We are having a lot of fun with it. We've got some great ideas coming, or I'm sorry, great guests coming down the pipe. I do want to say, if any of you guys see our Instagram or anything like that, and you, for whatever reason, are bored and read all the comments, there seems to be people that don't quite understand the videos that we post are done for humor. They are done for fun. I've been accused of being an alcoholic, that I've got a drinking problem since I've retired.
How long have we been friends?
2013, 2014, maybe. So
a long time.
A long time.
Yeah. I have never seen Sean slightly even anywhere near drunk.
That's a true statement, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is. I enjoy a cocktail.
And it's usually a or two.
Yep.
But that's about it. So when we read those in the comments, we're kind of like, oh, that's kind of funny. They don't understand that that's kind of the stick and why we call it Coptales&Cocktails. That's
it, man. This is a happy hour podcast that we get to talk with some amazing people and hear their stories while having a drink. It's no different than people after work getting done, heading down to their local place and having a drink before they head home and, take care of the family and so forth. That's basically what it is. So no, I do not have a drinking problem. Yes, I do enjoy a drink. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm allowed to do that.
You are a grown-ass man.
And our videos, they're all for fun. I mean, that's what they're about. So, which ties us into our question from, I'm guessing, Zaida Ruiz. I apologize if I butchered your name there. But it says, how do you guys come up with the ideas for the videos you pay for the podcast each week?
I think she meant to say play.
Yeah.
How did we come up with all those?
So after we talk with our guests, we don't know their stories before they sit down with us. We actually, other than knowing maybe who they are, something slightly about them, we don't do a lot of research into them or their stories because we want it to be real while we're talking to them.
Yeah, we basically know the outline of the story and then we let it go from there. That's why sometimes it's kind of free flowing and sometimes it kind of goes off the thing. But whenever we get done with it, we listen to it and we go, that's kind of an interesting thing. There's some that are kind of no-brainers, like police dogs.
Easy.
Yeah, I get to get attacked by a police dog.
Then that's one of our favorites.
There's other ones that aren't so easy to do because the material that we're handling is so serious.
Correct.
So we can't really poke fun at it or make light of it. One that comes to mind, and he's on here with us right now, is Duty Ron. So we kind of did a little bit, but 9/11 is pretty serious. That's kind of sacred ground. We're not South Park. We don't make fun of everything. The last one we did with the flamingo, we did that from the Sunshine State because that ties into Mr. Reston, who is from Jacksonville, Florida, because his was a very serious one as well. And we didn't want to make him mad because he looks pretty damn tough.
Yeah, he was for sure. So no, just I guess a short version is we do after our interviews with each of these guys, Howard and I, and sometimes even with Jason, we kind of just bounce ideas on something funny that we can do. And as you can see, I'm going to be the serious guy, and Howard is our goofball. So Howard has ordered a lot of costumes.
Oh, I do. If anybody
Amazon
needs a costume or would like to borrow one, I have plenty of them.
Come Halloween, we are stocked here for us.
Nobody has to buy one. Okay, now we have a very special guest that's waiting in the chat lobby right now.
Oh,
and he has a question for us. It's Chad Ayers, folks, everyone. Welcome, Chad. How you doing?
So Chad Ayers is coming to us through Facebook, and he's asking if we got any boots for him. The only ones I have are a pair of red ones that were left at my house.
That's it. And they can see these questions online. They said they could.
Oh, okay, great.
So you don't have to read them. See, I was
Look at that handsome face right there.
He is. He's an attractive man. Chad, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being a good sport. Hey, little known fact about Chad. We we did Chad's interview. We were learning. Chad was our practice bitch, I guess you could say. So we did his interview 3 times, 4 times,
3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So he got it right the 4th time. We had to scratch the first 3. He was just horrible, but we coached him and we worked with him and we got him a speech pathologist and he was able to do the podcast with us.
Yes, finally.
So that's pretty nice. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one. This is from Miss Nicodemus. I'm sorry I pushed again. It says, how I cope with the stress the past years being a medical professional. It sucked. It sucked a lot. A lot of people died. I've been a nurse for a long time. I put more people in body bags in a year than I put in my entire career. I came home not because COVID was over, it was because my mind was gone, and I had to get some therapy, and I had to be around all my homies. It's a bad spot, man. Anybody that you know that's a nurse that works in ICU right now, just love on them and give them hugs. They need it.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got another question for you.
Man, there's a long one from David Phillips. I don't know what the heck it is.
Oh, it's something. Oh, here's this is kind of. What's this one? Oh.
Man, so it looks like Keisha Lawrence is asking, would you guys ever do a fun Coptales and Cocktails live tour? Hell yes. We actually have had some discussions. I will say we haven't set a date yet, but we are going to do a, what do you call it, a giveaway, I guess? I don't know.
It's the end of the month.
Yeah, we're going to do one where we are going to select, to start out at least, one person that we're going to come to your house with all our gear and set up and do our podcast from somebody's house. So
you have to have internet, though.
Yeah,
if you don't have internet, we can't do it.
We'll bring our equipment.
We'll come anywhere. I mean, connecting 48. I mean, we'll go to Hawaii.
Oh, hell yeah.
We'd go to Hawaii. But, yeah, we're going to plan on doing a contest where we'll bring the podcast to your living room.
Yep, we're going to show up. Set up in your living room. We'll bring the cocktails and do it from somebody's house. So great question, Miss Lawrence. That will be happening relatively soon, actually.
Okay, here's back to your book.
Caitlin Rose Lacati is asking, are there any book signings in my future? So quick thing about the book. I had actually written this book and it was finished just about to go to print when COVID happened. Because of COVID, they weren't going to print at that time. Decision was made from our publisher to hold off on really doing anything more with it because all the bookstores were closed. People couldn't go out. Money got really tight for a lot of people. So people weren't going to, spend money and buy books and things like that. We originally had talked about having a little book tour signings. I don't know if that's something that's in the future again. If the sales stay strong, they have been great. I really appreciate that from everybody. Maybe there will be something like that. So we'll see.
Okay, we got a question here.
My guy. So 9/11 Strong. This is a man that I follow on Instagram. Much love. He posts, if anybody is out there right now, 9/11 Strong, that's his name. He's on Instagram, cop out in California. I think he's coming to us through YouTube. Very, very obviously pro law enforcement guy. Posts a lot of stuff about it. Speaks from his heart. I love it. So he's asking, what are we sipping on today? So right now we are actually drinking Wilderness Trail. And I'll be honest, we kind of came across this 2 years ago, year and a half ago, or something like that.
Yeah, you liked it.
Maybe I did. I ended up coming across it somewhere. For $55 bottle, man, it is actually a really, really good bottle. This is the Bottle and Bond one. They've got like a 6-year, a rye, and a couple others, but that one's fantastic right there. So that's what we're sipping on.
Yeah, it is pretty good. We got that was. I think we got one in California.
If I remember correct, I think his name's Adam. By the way, that officer there.
Gotcha. How about this? This coming from Jamie.
Man, how about interviewing Matt Best with the Black Rifle Coffee Company? You know what? Hell yes. Hell, we'll make a note on that one.
Yeah, we can put that
Jason, take a letter.
We've got a good one. Okay.
No, the Black Rifle Company, huge supporter of law enforcement, obviously military. I know Mike the cop, who's been a guest on our show, he's got like a connection with those guys and is doing stuff, putting stuff out all the time. But they are big fan of their product, big fan of their support of law enforcement.
Okay. All right.
We got just a few more minutes, guys, because we are actually going to we got some other things we've got to knock out here in a little bit. So.
Yeah, we got to do some podcasting. Okay, there was an interesting question that I saw up here. Let me look at it, see if I can find it. Let me get Jamie out of there. They keep coming, so they scroll up and I lose them. I wish that next time we'll know that there's a way to do this. Hey, comment. Do you guys like this? Is this something you'd like for us to do again? I mean, we don't mind talking. I mean, if I could find a job where I got paid by the word, I would be a millionaire. Okay, here's one. And I think this one's a funny question. I like Tyler Childers.
Love him.
Yeah. You want to tell the story about why?
Okay, so I will say this: our group, our music is literally all over the place. I'm traveling to Nashville tomorrow, so I've got a television gig I'm filming out there in Nashville for the next couple of days. And one of the things they had asked me ahead of time, and I didn't tell you guys this, they asked me what music do I like, and I guess it'll be part of the thing we're covering. And I mean, it's all over the place. I grew up, in 90s West Coast rap, so I still listen to those old school ones to this day. I like Tyler Childers. I like Dennis Lloyd, who's a singer out of Israel.
It's not the story.
I know, I'm getting there, man. Benjamin Todd, who we're going to go see here in Tulsa in just a few weeks. I was not a country music fan.
And he had a car and he bought a truck.
And I come across this guy. My daughter shares some music with me. This kind of, I don't know, it's not red dirt country. What do we call it? I mean, it's just
country music.
It is country. It's different. It's not this shit that plays on the radio nowadays.
It's not pop country. It's just country music.
Yeah, I hate pop country. If you've got, that type of stuff, I just don't like. But this is like true backroads, West Virginia, Kentucky country music. And this kid, I say kid because he's a youngster with little red hair, and the voice that comes out of him just does not match. And I was listening to his acoustic stuff and was blown away. So I sent a message out to the group of all of us that hang out downtown together here in Tulsa, our little scooter gang, our little bourbon group. And I'm like, have you guys ever heard of this guy?
But unbeknownst to Sean, he had been traveling, doing live PD and some stuff. He was out of town on the weekend, and I don't know, 6 weeks before that, we'd all gone to the Tyler Childers concert because we had been listening to him for 6 months, and he was coming in. I think his exact text was, I bought a truck, so I've been doing truck shit. And I'm listening to this guy named Tyler Childers. Have you heard of him? And I was like, you dumbass. Yes, we've heard of him. Went to concert.
We just went to his concert.
Ago. So, yes, that's what kind of music we like. We like kind of that.
Yeah,
country music. We not super country music.
And Darlene, before you go there, actually, there was a new guy just today. My daughter sent a song, and I have to wear reading glasses, so excuse me. It's what happens when you get old. His name is, stand by. He's got a song called 23 that just came out. We'd never heard of this guy, Chase Beckham. The song is 23, like the number 23, like Michael Jordan, whatever. Check it out. Fantastic song. I encourage you, all of you guys, send me a message. Let me know what you think about it.
Well,
right, we got another, just hammer out just 2 more questions, man, and give us a little break before we got to do what we have to do here in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I got that. We're going to, how about this? Do you know this guy?
I know who. Yeah. So Lisa, I guess it's Michaels maybe, is asking, would you get Denver Levitt on the podcast? Yeah. So Denver Levitt, he was a fan favorite officer out of, I believe, Indiana, if I remember correctly. That was on the show as a canine officer, had a hell of a dog.
I don't like police dogs.
Yeah. He was a great. Yeah, of course I would, man. We're always looking for, like I said, anybody you guys can think of. We're looking for guys with great stories. I say guys, just people in general. Men and women, whatever. People with great stories to have on here.
Okay, so here's our last question. This comes from Roxy, because anybody named Roxy gets the last question. Oh, they want to see some skin.
Show us the tattoos on your left arm.
Oh, they want to look at you and they want to ogle you. You want to tell us about those? He was a big fan of this one right here, the Headless Horseman. So he got this one because he was scared of Ichabod Crane. And that's when I met him at T-Ball. He first got that tattoo. He was 7.
No, so I will plug the book. It actually starts out talking about one of the tattoos on my arm. So first tattoo here, it's kind of backwards. This is Lady Justice that runs down here. Basically has to do with the criminal justice system, but I've got an alteration to her. Basically, it's being a cop as long as I have, I kind of understand that the system isn't always balanced and fair to everybody. So I've got a couple different things altered on the tattoo differently. You can see the letters that say, it actually says ageless going across my chest. That's just about my state of mind, basically staying young with these guys. Despite all of us getting older, we kind of keep ourselves young and fun. Then I've got everything from sunflower on my arm, which is my daughter's favorite flower, to I've got a clock. All the trees and things are down below. I've got the big pine on the front, which is basically about being big and strong, standing up for what you believe in and surviving. And then all the dead trees kind of refer to those that are weak and falter. So that's the generic version of trying to explain a bunch of tattoos on my arm. I joke it's my white trash look, but it is who I am.
Well, everybody, thank you for showing up. We'll do this again in the future. We love y'all listening to us. We love y'all being part of our fan base and part of our community. We had a question about TikToks, or what do you think of cops on TikTok? Well, we've got a retired cop on TikTok. You should check it out.
Okay, where's that question at?
It's right here. You want to see it?
Sure.
Okay. Here you go. Here's the question. That's not from she's cute. She's little. I didn't know she could.
Nicole Merle's asking, what do y'all think of cops on TikTok? I understand the community engagement, especially with the younger generation. That's where they're all at. And so I guess if there's, cops that, engage with the public that way and do, connect with them, I get it. I do, however, think that there are cops out there that could probably spend a little less time on TikTok and more time out on the streets, having real life contact with people or doing their job and enforcing. I think people can have a fair balance. I mean, there's some guys out there that I follow. One guy named his name's AJ. He's a cop in Columbus, Ohio. His is Oh No, It's the Popo. He does a lot of really, really good stuff. But I also know when he's working, he's out there getting it. You know what I mean? He's chasing bad guys. So I think you got to be able to understand that balance, because there are a lot of cops balanced. I've seen, people I know as well as some that I don't know, from my understanding, that they kind of enjoy trying to be a TikTok star rather than being a policeman. So I hope that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings, but those that know what I'm talking about, they understand.
All right, this is our last question. It's
Melvin coming through strong there. Melvin Mitchum. What is your guy's favorite liquor? Brown.
Corn wine.
Corn wine.
Kentucky. We don't really like scotch.
Nope.
We have taste buds, so it offends them, so we don't drink scotch. But again, we'd like to thank everybody for coming into our little live Q&A. We appreciate all your questions. There were a lot of questions we weren't able to get to, but we really appreciate y'all listening.
A lot of fun, guys. Thank you.
So take care. Good evening.